Guys, what's going on? Waiting for you guys to get in the stream, and then we'll be good to go. Salute, Brendan. How's it going? Smash the like button, guys. I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope everything's good wherever you are. Um, we had some big news yesterday. Big news arrived yesterday. Canelo KO'd Makabu. Yeah, probably. What did you guys make of it? It was kind of shocking news. I wasn't expecting it. It was a bit out of the blue. Canelo Alvarez obviously is going to move up according to Eddie Reynoso. The WBC has also approved of the fight. Apparently, he's going to be moving up to be fighting Lungu Makabu. What do you guys make of it? Wow, incredible stuff! Incredible stuff, and it wasn't something that I was expecting at all. Yeah, I am surprised, but Canelo wants to create legacy. He wants to create history. He wants to do things that you know haven't been done before. He's become undisputed at 168, and now he's going to become a 5 division world champion. A lot of people are criticizing it as well. They think that, hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well, Jack. Hope you're good. Everyone in the live stream, if you can smash the like button, I'd appreciate it. If you can smash the like button, I'd really appreciate it, guys. At this point, anyone hating on Canelo moving to fight a cruiserweight with 25 KOs out of 28 wins is a damn fool. Yeah, you got a point. You got a point. I think it's probably because there's fights in the lower weight classes that people rather see. Like Makabu isn't that well known, and Makabu, I don't know. It's not. It's like, would there be other fights that I would rather see? Possibly, but it's very dangerous because Makabu, he can bang. Salute, Eric. How's it going, brother? Smash the like button, guys. I'd really appreciate if you smash the like button. It's dangerous, man. Canelo UD. Devin says Canelo UD. Possibly, but it's dangerous because what you gotta realize when you get up to like cruiserweights, heavyweights, these guys punch differently up there, man. It's dangerous. It becomes very dangerous. Eddie said they wanted Triple G in Mexico. Yeah, I know. There's conflicting things. There's a lot being said, but Makabu, the reason why I think Canelo might buy Makabu is because of the fact that Canelo has a chance to create history by becoming a 5 division world champion. And that'll add to his legacy. So I think Canelo's going down that route. Guys, everyone in the live stream, if you can smash the like button, I'd appreciate it. So yeah, I think Canelo is all about the history, as you guys know. Hello, Imran, lad. What's going on, Ray? I hope you're well. Hope you're good. Humzy 64 says, if Canelo wins, do you think he would go to heavyweight one day? It's too big, man. Heavyweights are too big. It wouldn't surprise me the way he's moving up. I wouldn't surprise me. Maybe if someone like when Charles Martin was a champion, if someone like that becomes a champion, he may go up and dust them off. People shouldn't be shocked if Canelo gets dropped for the first time in his career. Yeah, he could do. Yeah, he could do because the guy's a big guy, man. He's a strong guy. Makabu's a very, very big puncher. He can punch. So Brendan says Canelo doing the same thing he did at light heavyweight. It seems go grab a belt, come back down, clean out light heavyweight, and come back to cruiserweight. I don't know. Is he? Is that what he's gonna do? Name weight class where WBC green belt is not then the main champion. Yeah, WBC cruiserweight, because I don't think he's the main champion. I think Okoli and Brady is better than him. Eric Lorenzo says, I think he is fighting cruiserweight just to become a 5 division world champion. I don't know, in my opinion. I think so. Ray's got an interesting point. This is an example of cherry picking at its finest. I don't know though, Ray. I think it's dangerous. Picking the weakest cruiserweight champion. It may be the weakest cruiserweight champion, you're right, but it's also dangerous for Canelo because the weight size and difference is a lot. So it might be the weakest champion, but I don't know. It might be a risky move for him. Hi, Imran. Hi, Fight Gamer. I hope you're well. Canelo will have a fight at heavyweight before he retires. I'm calling it. Yeah, probably, possibly. Possibly. So AR Smith says, yes. What's going on, AR Smith? Fight Gamer says, Canelo will KO Makabu. Look what Bellew did to him. Yeah, but Bellew's a big guy, you know, so how can you go up 3 weight classes and fight a champion and say it's a cherry pick? Good point. Ray, Harris makes a point here. What do you think? The weakest cruiserweight would still flatline your favorite fighter at 160 and 168. Yeah. Would Makabu beat everybody from 175? Probably Beterbiev would be dangerous for him because Beterbiev's dangerous. I don't know about anybody else, though, because those guys up there at cruiserweight are massive. Because Ray makes his point, because he's avoided credible challenges at 175. Ray makes a point, a good one, because he's avoided credible challenges at 175. What do you guys make of Ray's point there? He's saying that he's avoiding credible challenges at 175. Yeah, there are credible challenges. Bivol, Beterbiev. They would be great fights. Beterbiev more so. I want to see that Beterbiev fight. But there's nothing to say Canelo won't fight him in the future. I think that fight will possibly happen down the road. In my opinion, anyway. Guys, smash the like button. I'd really appreciate if you smash the like button. Bellew, okay, Fight Gamer says Bellew is not skillful as Canelo and is not at the level of Canelo. Yeah, he's not, but he's big, you know what I mean, and size can play a part. I'm old school, lads. So I think Ray would rather have, because he's at 160 or 175, he should clean up there first before he moves up to cruiser. There's some big fights at light heavyweight for him. Canelo has been heavily vocal about fighting Bivol and Beterbiev, low reaching. Yeah, he has been vocal, but I think he should fight Beterbiev, man. That would be a great fight. Ray says unify light heavyweight, then move to cruiser, not other way around. Yeah, I think it's more about trying to win a title. I think he looks at Makabu and thinks I can win a title there. But the only thing I'm worried about with Canelo, even if he decides to go back down to 175, is he going to be able to make that well? Because he's going to have to add muscle, and then he's going to have to take muscle off to get back down to 175. That's not healthy. That's not good. You know, Canelo's done that before as well. He's young. He's still youngish at the minute. As he gets older, that's going to become more difficult to do. You know, adding muscle, then taking muscle off. I don't know whether that's a good thing in the long run. You know, look what happened to Roy Jones. Yeah, I'm not sure that's a good idea, to be honest. Although Canelo's a different fighter to Roy Jones, still, you know, I don't think you should be going up and down weight like that. I don't know if it's healthy. Canelo doing anything at light heavyweight, let alone cruiserweight, is already insane enough for his size. Yeah, fair enough. This is a strategic move again from Canelo. Makabu has no chance. I don't know, man. You guys are saying Makabu has no chance. He's a big guy, man, and he can crack. Ray says, look at Roy Jones. It's not easy going up and down the weights on your physique. Yeah, that's what I mean. Brendan Jackson's, they said the same about Canelo not cleaning out a 168 first. But now look at how that played out. Yeah. But 175 is a dangerous division. It's a much harder division. Race, different beasts. There's different beasts at 175 compared to 168. Yeah, I'd agree with that. There's much better fighters there. There's dangerous fighters there at 175. I would say not so much Bivol's, not so much. I think Beterbiev, that's the fight. That's a dangerous fight. That's a fight where, whoa, that's definitely, guys, smash the like button for me, guys. I really appreciate if you smash the like button. Really appreciate if you guys smash the like button, guys. Okay, Roy was much more dynamic fighter than Canelo. Yeah, he was. He was more athletically gifted, you know, lighter on his feet, faster hands. He was just very athletically gifted, Roy. But Canelo's a very efficient fighter. He needs to fight Benavidez. Sean says My man Sean T's in the house. What's going on, Sean? He says he needs to fight Benavidez, plain and simple. Sean, I agree with you. That'd be a great fight as well. Benavidez, Beterbiev, all of these guys. Great fights. Guys, give the like button a smash. I'd appreciate if you smash the like button. Iggy says he's going to Cruiser, then undisputed at 175. Makes the most sense. He's 31 and plans to fight 3 times next year. Do you think he's looking to become undisputed at light heavyweight? Hopefully, but I don't think that goal is there anymore as it was, to become. He wanted to become undisputed champion. He's achieved that now. He's achieved that, Fight Gamer says Beterbiev has weaknesses. He's been dropped. Yeah, he does have weaknesses. He has been dropped. That's why I want to see the fight. Miguel, man, there's something wrong with your connection. It never lets me get on. I don't know where. It's difficult. I can't get you on, Miguel. It's not letting me get you on. Every time it does that with your connection. I don't know what it is. Okay, will Yard be champ at light heavyweight? No, I don't believe so. I think it's going to be difficult for him. Ray says all fighters have weaknesses. Of course, every fighter has weaknesses. There's no doubt about that. Guys, give the like button a smash. I'd appreciate if you smash the like button. Miguel says Canelo is a different fighter. Like Canelo, it comes once in a lifetime. Yeah, he is a great fighter. There's no doubt about that. No, Yard ain't no world champion in the making. No, I agree. He's not no world champion in the making. I think Yard, he could probably get another world title shot. But he doesn't beat the current champions. Canelo has 5-6 years left to fight. With how often he fights a year, I'm sure he'll fight Benavidez and the other light heavyweights mentioned. Hopefully, that's what we want. I want to see Canelo fight Benavidez. I think that's a great fight. I think Canelo Benavidez is a monster fight. It's a fight that I would love to see. JS Blaz says Canelo is 100% going to Cruiserweight to become a 5-division world champion. Then he will settle at 175 and undisputed there. 100% Canelo wants legacy. He will go down as one of the greatest ever. Yeah, if he becomes undisputed at 175, I'm not going to disagree there. No one beats Canelo, says Danny. Wow, that's a big statement. At what weight though? At Cruiserweight, I'm not so sure. At Cruiserweight, I think Okoli and Bradis. Ray, if you're still in the chat, how do you think Canelo gets on with Okoli and Bradis? Brendan says, Yard was literally close to getting the belt from Kovalev. Regardless of how green he look, he gets full credit. Yeah, almost did. He was a couple of punches away from stopping him. How do you cherry pick a champion that is BS? Makabu is a world champion, so he must be good. The thing is that makes Canelo so good is he's an all-round fighter. Yeah. The size will play a massive. The size, I don't know. I don't know if the size will play much. Here. Quality football. Why do you complain about Canelo needing to fight Benavidez, but no one else? What do you mean by no one else is taking risk? I don't know what you mean. Yeah, they're not taking risk because they all want to fight Canelo for that payday. That's why they're not taking risk. Otherwise, if Canelo moves up to Cruiserweight and stays at Cruiserweight, then they will take the risk. Because right now, everybody sees that Canelo fight in front of them. Brendan Jackson says, I hope Yard does better via Arthur in the rematch. Arthur is good. Arthur is very good. Arthur can fight, Guys, smash the like button, guys. Everyone joining the stream, if you can smash the like button, I'd really appreciate it. I'd really appreciate if you smash the like button. Yeah, Arthur is good, by the way. Arthur is good. Iggy G says, we need to judge Canelo on his next fight, not this one that was announced. He just went undisputed. He wants another accolade first. Yeah, I think it's all about legacy for Canelo. Let's turn our attention to Boo Boo Andrade. Really needs a massive win v Quigley. You know what? Boo Boo Andrade needs to beat Quigley in emphatic fashion. Can Boo Boo Andrade get the job done? What are you guys making of Boo Boo Andrade against Quigley? I think he'll beat Quigley emphatically. I think he'll stop him. But Andrade, he's failed to impress me. And Eddie Hearn's right. He needs to put in a stellar performance. If Andrade don't put in a stellar performance, his stocks drops. We need Andrade to fight somebody, man. Munguia. We need Andrade v Munguia. I want to see Andrade fight Munguia. I want to see Andrade and Munguia fight. That's a good fight. Andrade v Munguia. Ray, what do you think? Brendan, what do you think? Marco, what do you think? Andrade Munguia, who wins that fight? So Danny says Munguia will KO Andrade. Okay, Okoli beats Canelo. You know what? He's massive, Okoli. He's 6'6". He's 6'6" and he's a heavyweight. You know, that's a ridiculous hard fight for Canelo. But if Canelo takes that fight, wow. Fair play. That's a proper fight, Ray. That's a proper fight. That would be a great fight. That'd be a fight where Canelo, that would be a great fight. I think the size would play him because Coley's 6'6", Ray. He's 6'6". That's almost a foot bigger. Coley's almost a foot bigger than Canelo. That's ridiculous. A foot bigger. Imagine that, guys. 1 foot bigger. Imagine fighting a guy that's 1 foot bigger. You might can't even reach his face. Andrade better sleep Quigley and not get hurt himself. Lol. He needs to put in a stellar performance, guys. He needs to put in a stellar. Canelo KOs Okoli, says Fight Gamer. Wow. Canelo KOs Okoli. Wow. You know what? Okoli's a bit messy. He likes to grab hold. He's a bit messy. He's a bit of an awkward fighter. He's not the most exciting fighter to watch, but he's very effective. Can he do that against Canelo? I'm not sure. I don't know. That's, you know, the fact that we're even thinking about Canelo fighting Okoli is absurd. It's absurd when you think about Coley 6'5". You know, it's absurd. The size is way too much, man. And Ray hits it says it here. The size is way too much. It is. It's ridiculous. R.A.R. Smith, Canelo won't fight Okoli or Bradis. He won't beat those guys. Those guys are big. They're big. So Adrian says there is a clear sign Canelo will be campaigning at 175 now, Imran. Yeah, because there's no way he can go back down to 168 after fighting. You know what the other thing is? And I think this deserves a video. Is Canelo going to get Makabu to come down at 190, or is Canelo going to fight him at 200 pounds? Because Makabu would be drained. If Makabu fights at 190, that's gonna be hard for Makabu. You know, Canelo, in my opinion, if he wants to fight for the cruiserweight title, he should go and fight him at the actual weight, not make a catch weight. But let's see what Canelo does here. Okoli being KO'd in amateurs. Canelo will do the same. Okoli, Humzy64 says, Okoli way too big for Canelo. Possibly. May well be too big. But I'd love to see it. Yeah, KO'd off cruiserweight. It's not a blown up middleweight. Yeah, that's a good point. He hasn't got KO'd of a middleweight. And Canelo really started off as a welterweight. Went to light. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's risky business now. We're talking about very risky fights here. Canelo will fight everyone you guys want to see him fight, but he is hunting at the moment. Benavidez is a big fight, but he has no belt, and he's still young. Canelo wants the belts. Yeah, he does want belts. He wants to create a legacy. Canelo could definitely have Coley missing punches and being made to pay for doing so. Is he going to be able to reach his face, though? That's the thing. Coley is a foot bigger. He's going to have to break his body. Canelo fights once at cruiserweight, then cleans out the 175 division. Are you confident, Marco, that he cleans out the 175 division? Are you confident? Are you confident that he cleans out? How confident are you? Fight Gamer says experienced players a factor. Okolie is raw. He is raw. Okolie is too big and powerful, says Ray. Possibly. I want to see the fights, man. I want to see the fights. I want to see him. At this point, even Munguia has a better resume than Andrade. Yeah. Munguia has a better resume than Andrade. Possibly. You know, Andrade has got not a great resume, man. You know? Ray, what do you make of Liam Smith if he moves up to 160 and that he fights Andrade? Bearing in mind, Liam Smith beat Liam Williams. That'd be a good fight. Liam Smith v. Andrade. What do you think, Ray? Skill pay the bills. They certainly do. They certainly do pay the bills. 100% they pay the bills. Guys, smash the like button, guys. Everyone in the live stream, there's 38 of you here. There's 19 likes. Let's smash the like button, guys. Get the likes. Smash the like button. I'd really appreciate if you smash the... Munguia will KO Andrade. Will anyone be surprised when Canelo unifies 175-pound anymore? Greatness is expected and assumed at this point. I would be impressed. I won't say I'll be surprised, because I think we know how good Canelo is, but I would be impressed, not shocked, if he was to do that. Besides, people need to understand Canelo can't just go to Cruiser and challenge for any belt he wants. Only reason he got the WBC shot is because of the franchise belt, or it's called. What do you mean by that, JS Blaze? Besides, people need to understand Canelo can't just go to Cruiser and challenge for any belt he wants. Only reason he got the WBC shot is because of the... Oh, right. Okay, I get you. Yeah, I get what you're saying. He probably could, though. He probably could. If he wanted to fight Okolie, they'll find a way to fight Okolie. If he wanted to fight Bradis, they'll find a way to fight Bradis. It's Canelo at the end of the day. Let's be honest. What governing body wouldn't want Canelo to fight for their belts? Canelo is good, but he ain't beating the second best cruiserweight in the world. The second best cruiserweight in the world is Okolie, right? So yeah, that'll be difficult, man. It'd be difficult, but I would love to see it, Ray. I would love to see it. I'd favor Munguia over Andrade. Wow. Guys, what do you guys think? Munguia or Andrade? Who wins that fight? What's going on, Jose Ruiz? Hey, Imran, how behind doing Canelo? He wants to fight in February. Then 175 from the light heavyweight division made why he's moved cruiserweight, but that's 200 pounds. He's to make least 196. I think he should fight at 200 pounds, to be honest. Munguia has been ducking Andrade for 2 years. You know what? Eddie Hearn said that Munguia's avoiding that fight. You know, a lot of people seem to be avoiding Demetrius Andrade. He needs to put on a show Saturday night. He needs to make himself a more commercially attractive, so you know we can get these big fights. Look at the way, you know, I don't know about Andrade. He hasn't got the most exciting style, but hopefully we can get this fight between Andrade and Munguia. I think it would be a good fight. Munguia by KO, hands down. I'm not sure whether it's that certain, to be honest. I'm not sure it's that certain. Quigley is not even top 10 at 160. This makes Andrade irrelevant. Yeah, good point. Munguia as Andrade fades at 160. TKO. Munguia as Andrade fades at 160. Wow. So Ray thinks Munguia will knock Andrade out. A lot of people think that. I think it's the pressure that Munguia brings. I do question Munguia's punching power, though. I'm not sure Munguia is a big puncher at all. So I'm not sure whether he KOs Andrade. But, you know, it's a good fight. I think it's a 50-50, that one. Makai, I can't get you on for some reason. It's not letting me get you on. I mean, there's a connection issue from your end. Or maybe it's my end. I don't know. It's not letting me get people on. I wasn't able to get Miguel on either. I don't know why it's not letting me get you on, but let's go. Munguia is too fresh for Andrade. He's better off going for Eubanks Jr. or BJS. Munguia is too fresh for Andrade. He's better off going for Eubank Jr. or BJS. I'd like either of those fights. I'd like BJS. I'm not sure if he's gonna fight Andre. To be honest with you, I'm not sure whether that fight can be made. I definitely think Eubank fight. If Eubank beats Williams is a great fight. Munguia beats Charlo, but I'm not sure about Andrade. I think Andrade wins by decision. It will be close though. Munguia beats Charlo, but I'm not sure about Andrade. I think Andrade wins by decision. It will be close though. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm able to get Nelson on. Uh, Nelson, what's going on, brother?
How you doing, Imran?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's always great speaking to you, my brother. Nelson, Canelo moving to cruiserweight. Give me your thoughts.
Good choice. I mean, it's gonna be tough, but every fight he's gonna have from this moment on is gonna be tough. So might as well take a risk and make history while he's at it.
Yeah. There's gonna be Nelson. There's gonna be criticism, of course, because there's fights there at 168 and 175 that people want to see him. Why do you think he's overstepped the 175-pound division? And do you think this is him staying at cruiserweight, or do you think he's going to look to win a world title there and then come back down? What do you think Canelo's um, end game is here?
He's visiting. It's just a visit. Go up there, push himself. And it's also good for the other divisions because it gives time for these other fighters to face each other. I mean, come on, man. Davis, this last Saturday, that guy he fought was a novice. That guy couldn't even throw a decent left hook. I mean, give the kid a lot of credit. He showed a lot of heart, showed a lot of grit, standing there taking those shots. But I mean, he was a novice. I mean, that guy, he couldn't land a proper hook to the body. He couldn't throw a straight right hand. He really wasn't there with someone that didn't push him. He needs. I really would have had liked to see him and Jose. I was gonna put money on that fight, Imran, with him and Jose, because I felt Jose could have given him a run for his money, if not beat him. Because like I said, Davis the type of guy who needs a physical size advantage over his opponents, sort of like Errol Spence kind of style, which is the bigger kind of guy style. And once they face someone that's at least a little bit closer to their size, they'll have issues. So I'm happy for Canelo taking that step because it forces these other guys to face each other. And at the same time, he's leading by example. Take a chance, guys. Come on, let's keep it moving. If you're not doing anything at 160, move up to 168.
But Nelson, I will say this. I am worried for Canelo in this fight. He could get knocked out. He could get chinned, man. Makabu's a big boy. He's a big dude. I'm talking, if he lands one on Canelo, we know at those higher weight classes, it doesn't matter how good your chin is. You get hit right by those big guys, especially when you're not a big guy yourself. In comparison, it's dangerous, man. This is very, very dangerous. I don't think people understand how risky this is.
And even if the guy doesn't connect hard at that weight, those punches, they damage you. They take something out of you.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's like we spoke the last time. Canelo has to be. He can give you tough fights, but we're gonna have to be spreading them between, because he just can't be giving us hard fights after hard fights. It's gonna take a toll on him.
Yeah. You said that last time as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, we have to manage it now. Well, I mean, is David a tough fight for him? Of course it is.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean David's gonna win. What will happen in a fight like that, it would deteriorate Canelo a little more. All these fights start to deteriorate him a little and a little and a little more. So you have to be managing his career a little bit slower, and make these other guys fight. Come on, man. Canelo's been carrying this on his own. I mean, we was talking about it the last time. At least Matt Floyd had Pacquiao, he had Cotto, he had these other guys that was helping carrying the banner, but this guy's doing it all by himself. It's time for Andre and these Charlo guys to step up and help Canelo carry this, show that they're willing to take challenges.
You know, the other thing is, you're right that it's a very, very tough fight. But the other thing I'm worried about, Nelson, as well, is that Canelo moving to 200 pounds, right? He's going to put on muscle, and then he's going to take off that muscle to come back down. That's not healthy, man. As a guy that studied science and studied sport, that's not healthy, man. That's very, very, like, putting on muscle. As you get older, Nelson, you put on muscle, you put on weight.
Correct.
Taking it off, and especially he's not like, remember, there's a difference between taking off fat. So like there's a difference when we're walking around like at 20% body fat, and then we get down to 10% body fat. That's you're taking off fat. But now Canelo is going to go to 200 pounds, and I guarantee you there's not going to be much fat on him, right? So then he's going to have to take off muscle to get back down. And remember, Canelo's 31. He's not getting any younger. I'm worried that is going to have a big toll when he eventually does go back down. Because remember, Nelson, it's 25 pounds, the difference. Cruiserweight limit is 200 pounds. And
that's right.
The next division below at light heavyweight is 175 pounds. It's 25 pounds.
Cruiserweight is from 185 to 199 pounds. Am I right?
Yeah.
185 to 199. Canelo won't probably go in as much as 182, maybe 181 into that fight. He's not going to add that much weight. He's going to try to still, and the guy's going to be very slow and powerful. So Canelo, as long as he can see the shots coming, he can try his best to, evade the tough shots. And what I see Canelo doing is probably getting him tired of missing. Come into the fight, try to go to the body, move around a little bit, make the guy miss a lot. And by the 6th round, he'll start wearing him down a little bit. That's pretty much what I see Canelo doing, wearing him down a little bit. And I know it's hard for a lot of people to see, but these big guys, they tend to tire quicker. So I can see that. He's just going to have to make sure he doesn't get hit with one of those big shots you're talking about, because it don't matter how you block those shots. They're going to hurt your hands. They're going to hurt your elbows. They're going to hurt your shoulder. It's going to be a tough fight. Like it's going to be with David, like it's going to be with anybody else. But why not do it in a division where not too many have gone? Not too many people have tried to do this.
Guys, Nelson, there's guys in the chat are saying that it's 190 cruiserweight limit for WBC is 190 pound. So it's not 200 pound. I actually thought it was 200 pound.
No. Yeah, I think it's 185 to 199, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think it's 190 pound. So if we're going, so just say the limit is 190 pound. It's still 22 pounds above where he's fighting at right now. So if he moves to 190 and he fights at 190, he's going to put on muscle. Then he's going to have to take 15 pounds off to come back down to light heavyweight. Because he's not, let's be honest, Nelson, he ain't going to go back down to 168 after fighting at 190, right?
He's not gonna add that weight. He's gonna stay, the heaviest he's probably gonna come in is 180. That's as heavy as he's gonna come in. Because he knows that. He knows he's gonna have to come back down. He's not trying to make a bed there. He's just trying to visit, trying to also encourage the other fighters that are fighting. Hey guys, come on, man. You can go up a division, give it a try. Even if you lose, you took a chance. People will respect that. I mean, we got too many people out here, trying to protect that. Because a lot, it's kind of, it backfires as fans, because we want our guys to be unbeaten, but that also takes away from him, taking on the competition that he needs to take. So, yeah.
The other thing is what's your take on this, Nelson? If he just say he fights Makabu at 190 and he says to Makabu that we'll fight for your title, but we have to do it at a catch weight. We know that Makabu is a big cruiserweight, so he can't do any catch weight. If he puts a rehydration clause on Makabu, what's your stance on that? Because for me, that would be a massive disadvantage for Makabu, because he's a huge cruiserweight, as we know, and he won't be able to do that. So do you think Canelo will put any stipulations like that on him?
No, I don't think he will. If anything, he will probably prefer him to come in bigger. That you got to understand. I think this guy's a left. I think he's going to be
Lefty,
slower.
yeah. Lefty, yeah,
He's
lefty.
a south. He's just
Southpaw, yeah.
a bigger, slower version of Billy Joe without the movement.
Yeah,
So Canelo is probably looking to set up that right uppercut that he
yeah.
uses against left-handed fighters. When they throw that left hand, he tends to dip down and sneak in that right uppercut, and then try to come underneath to the body. The guy will get tired. He'll start swinging. These heavy guys, you got to understand, after 4 rounds, what is the old saying? Fatigue will turn the strongest man into what? A baby. So once they get fatigued, I don't care how big you are. Once you get tired, you, anything is going to hurt you. Punch to the shoulder, and this is what he's going to try to do, is just get him tired. And he's used to this already. You got to understand, Canelo in sparring, he's getting in there with Sanchez. He's bringing in some heavy hitters, man. When he brings them to camp, he brings in some big guys. I mean, to be quite honest with you, in the last freaking 7 years, we ain't seen Canelo with nobody his size. Everybody's bigger. So I think as they get bigger and heavier, they get slower. It's a lot of muscle to push around. After the 4th round, it'll start turning towards Canelo's side. But it's a dangerous fight, those first 3 rounds. Because like you said, one punch from one of these big guys in the wrong place, on the top of your head, in the back of your head, it can really mess you up. So
Yeah.
he's got to be on point with his defense in this one, which he be.
D Murray and James Deere are not happy with Canelo moving up to cruiserweight. James Deere says Canelo is a laughing stock in the US media. Makai, I would love to get your opinion on that. That some people are not happy with this move.
Yeah,
Canelo
I'm not
moving up to
happy.
cruiserweight. They think it's ridiculous. And by the way, Hawk Mustang says light heavyweight 175 pounds, cruiserweight 200 pounds. Imran Mir. So I think cruiserweight is 200 pound. I don't know whether the WBC are allowing it to be at 170, but it seems like cruiserweight limit is 200 pound.
I'm gonna clear it up. I'm gonna clear up the cruiserweight. The
Okay.
cruiserweight is a phantom division. The cruiserweight is pretty much from 185 pounds to 199. It's a phantom division. It's kind of like stuck in the middle of the middleweights and in the heavyweights. So it's kind of used to get like Usyk, to get the heavyweights kind of ready for the heavyweights. You know what I mean? It's never really been a staple division, a solid down division. So I think it's like a 15-pound gap in that division, if I'm not mistaken, where from 185 to 199 pounds is accepted as a cruiserweight. Once you go over 199, that's a heavyweight, you know? So as
So
the weight go up,
I wanna get these comments. So D Murray and James D are not happy. They're saying Canelo's a laughing stock in the media. Also, D Murray says, I'm so disappointed. Why not give your Mexican bro Benavidez a payday? He deserves, win or lose. He passes the torch to a Mexican. What do you make of that, Makai?
Yeah, I agree with him. Canelo should be fighting Benavidez. I'm not happy with this fight. No one asked Canelo to fight Ilunga Makabu, whatever his name is. Like we was all getting excited for him to fight either, Benavidez, the PBC guys. But now, like, he's just made that decision out of nowhere. I'm not happy with that fight at all. No one asked for that. No one really knows who he is either.
yeah, nobody knew who this guy David fought last Saturday either. Nobody said anything.
Yeah, but I know who David Benavidez is.
Yeah, because they're putting a lot of publicity behind him, and there's a lot of talk about him. But I mean, his credentials in the rings ain't no different. They're really no different.
But
So
these are the guys that Canelo that they want Canelo to fight. He's pound for pound. Yeah, Benavidez. He's one of the top guys in his division. Obviously, we got Charlo and Andrade. You got Beterbiev Bivol at light heavyweight who've been calling them out, but he just skips that and goes up to cruiserweight to fight Makabu.
but that's
no one asked Canelo to fight Makabu. Literally no one.
No one
No
asks
one.
anybody else to do anything. So I mean, if we're gonna be that way, if we're gonna be asking, let's ask of everybody.
If
Like that's
Canelo's pound for pound, he's supposed to be fighting those guys. He's not supposed to be fighting Makabu, the guys that no. I'm a fan of Canelo. Imran can tell you that, but I'm not happy with his fight at all. I don't know. I mean, where did Canelo get that? Literally,
well,
no one asked for that fight.
no, I
Well,
mean,
I think it's more. I think it's more about the fact that he feels that he can beat Makabu at cruiserweight, and it's about being a 5 division world champion because, um, I think with Canelo, it's all about legacy. He's now become an undisputed champion. But the thing is, I don't know. I don't know where I stand on it. I can see where you're coming from, Makai. I can see where Nelson's coming from as well. That it gives those guys an opportunity to fight each other, and then the best man standing can fight Canelo. But
oh,
I
are we
don't know.
expecting? Are we expecting Canelo to go through the gauntlet again? To go through the David, the
Exactly. Yeah.
Charlo, the Bivol, the
Can't fight them
Ramirez.
all.
Yeah.
Come
No, he
on, man.
can't fight
I
them
mean,
all. You're saying that, but who?
that's
Okay, then
ridiculous.
who's Makabu beat then? It makes no sense. Canelo's fought. I mean,
Exactly.
Caleb Plant. Who held the Caleb Plant fight? We can't say they
It,
need to prove it. I mean,
it's just saying it. It
that's just
makes
how it is now. These guys, then they ain't gonna. I mean, I know Benavidez is trying to, Charlo. Yeah, they ain't gonna fight top guys. It's just how it is now, and it's a shame as well. But it's not gonna do anything. But Canelo, he was with PBC. Like the names that were getting spoken about, Benavidez, Charlo, Bivol, like they wanted. Those are the guys that people wanted Canelo to fight, but he just goes out of nowhere and announces he's fighting Makabu. Like, no one's happy about that fight, really. Not a lot of people
you
are
know
happy about that. Neither am
you know
I.
what you know why I like that fight. The reason I like that fight is because it proves that skills could overtake size, and I would like to see that. It'll be great to see a small guy do this. It's interesting to watch. Can you push that limit? Can you face a much, much bigger man? And can your skills hold up? Because we've had a lot of fighters throughout history that their skills are fitted to fight smaller guys. Like, I mean, right now, let's take an example, David Benavidez, 6'3", 6'4", and nobody has a problem with him facing a 5'7" junior middleweight like Canelo. If Canelo was to fight a guy that was 5'2", and he had a reach of 7 inches, will we be giving him any credit? No. So, I mean, David, why don't he just moves up, fight Sudo? Why don't we ask this of anybody else? So I'm interested in the fight because I want to see a small guy face these odds and see how he survives or even pulls it off.
It's
Here's the thing, Nelson Mackay. Mr. Giggle says this whole thing stinks to high hell. What do you mean by that, Mr. Giggles? I'd love to know your opinion about that. What do you mean by this thing stinks as hell? I'd love to know your opinion. I think so. AR Smith says we wanted Andre Charlo. So let's see what AR says. AR says we wanted Andrade, Charlo, Bivol, or Baterbia for years. Amazingly, those are the only guys he hasn't fought. AR Smith says. What do you guys make of that?
He's right. He's right. Yeah. I mean, that's those are the fights that people want Canelo to fight. I mean, whoever said that, yeah, he's right.
Which people? The minority? Because to be honest with you, we just want to see him in the ring. I don't know which people you're talking about. It just seems like the minority seems to scream the loudest.
Most people who support boxing wanted Canelo to fight those guys. I mean,
No,
Andrade, no, I don't want Canelo to fight that. No one cares about Andrade. But, there's Benavidez.
Nelson, let me put this to you then. AM says Canelo can do what he wants. Let them fight each other. So the fight is undeniable. They're all bums waiting on a payday, says AM.
And I mean, that's a little far, but it's true. It has a tone of truth. I mean, we got to expect this from these guys. I mean, who did David fight Saturday, man? He's pretty much just living off Canelo's name. I mean, to be honest, I don't even think the guy's Mexican. I think he's like Ecuadorian. You know what I mean? I'm not sure if the guy's even Mexican. So
No,
This
he's half
Mexican against
Mexican. He is Mexican. He's half Mexican and half Ecuador. His mom was Mexican and his dad, I think, something like that. But I know
yeah,
he's half.
well, that is considered Ecuadorian, and we know that. I mean, it's 99.7% Ecuadorian. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. But either way, whichever way they want to paint it, who did David fight Saturday? I mean, come on.
Yeah,
That
but
that kid, look, I give him credit, good heart, show he had, the mind to be in there, but he was a novice, man. That guy couldn't throw a proper hook. He couldn't defend himself properly. This was, to be honest with you, I actually seen Benavidez more vulnerable. Like I actually thought he would have been a tougher fight before I watched that on Saturday. Now I see Canelo probably even stopping, and because if when you look at Canelo versus Colin Smith, it's pretty much you're probably going to get the same thing, something like that. The only reason why these guys are confident right now is because they just watched Canelo go through a 4-fight series in the last 11 months, and he looked a little tired with Plant. And you had guys like Charlo talking about, oh, I can beat him. Yeah, because he's tired. But give him 8 months, and then when you bring him back, let's see what you got. Let him get some rest. See if it's the same Canelo you've seen fight Plant. It's not going to be the same Canelo. He said it himself. He says, I'm tired. My body's tired. He said it himself and after the fight. I'm just too tired right now because that's a gauntlet. That's a gauntlet of fights. But I see Canelo versus Benavidez. To me, it's like Canelo versus Callum Smith. I see the same fight. Once Canelo pushes David back on that back foot and keeps him on that back foot, you're gonna see a whole different fight.
James Deere, Ahmed, I'll bring this to you. James Deere says, AM, don't be silly. You want them to kill each other so Canelo can retire with no challenges. Ahmed, there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of people posting questions. What's your opinion?
First of all, on what he's going to do, I think it's not a bad move, to be honest with you, because obviously if he's not fighting light heavyweight titles, at least he's going up, and it's still a challenge and a test for himself. So people shouldn't be too critical. But what I do want to say is, what does he do after that then? Because obviously his reputation will come into play. Because if he's going to go all the way back down then to 168, or for his reputation's sake, he might have to stay at cruiserweight then and fight somebody like Breedis after that if he does win. So that's my take on it.
That's a good point, actually. I even said that in the video that I did, that it's not the fight with Makabu. Okay, he wins that fight. What does he do after that is the key, because after that, what he does is going to be very important. Does he stay at cruiserweight? Does he go to light heavyweight? That's going to be very interesting to see what he decides to do. And
that's all going to be depending on what happens with these other fighters. With what do they do? Do they bring their name up? Do they fight each other? That's all going to be dependent on that. Like I said, it's going to give time for these guys to at least face each other, and then he'll have someone there to come back down to. Because I mean, we're not expecting Canelo to fight Andre, Charlo, David, Bebo, Ramirez, Benavidez. Better be. We're not gonna. I mean, come on, man. That's being ridiculous. Now, if these guys face each other, he can probably face 2 or 3 of them. You know what I mean? So we're going to give them time to kind of face each other and see what they got. When he comes back, when he finishes with that fight, hopefully some of these guys have fought each other. Because, I mean, they got to help out, man. Pacquiao, like you said before, Imran, Pacquiao helped Floyd because Pacquiao, he helped Floyd carry the banner. Cotto helped Floyd carry the banner. Canelo's carrying this all alone. We need these guys to step up and take chances, man. And Canelo's a great example for that. Like he's telling you, man, if there's nothing at 160, move up to 168. Take a chance, man.
Imran, also, I want to say, I don't want to see Canelo back at 168. I want to see him, if he doesn't stick around at cruiserweight, then it's going to have to be 175 for the rest of his career. What do you think?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point.
And then he'll have to fight. He'll have to fight Bivol or somebody. Then better be a.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think he'll have to come back down to 175. I think at 168 it won't be good to go back down to that weight. Especially I don't know. Some people are saying cruiserweight's 200 pounds. Some people are saying it's 190 pound. I don't know what's going on with the cruiserweight division. It's a bit of a
phantom division. I'm telling you,
yeah,
it's
it
a
is. Yeah,
phantom
it
division.
is.
Last time I checked, it said Canelo is to bring, he wants to fight at 185 or 186. So he's going to try to sip Makabu's punch power, which I don't agree with. I think he should fight at the full limit, whatever the limit is. He should fight for his legacy.
So if
Marky Dan says, Ahmed, listen to this. Marky Dan 123 says, let Floyd move up and fight the weakest champion in a division. He'd be accused of cherry picking and ducking great fights. We don't even know who he is, says Marky Dan. Does he have a point, Nelson, Ahmed, Makai? Does he have a point here?
Yeah,
No,
he
he don't.
who Makabu is.
Go on, guys. Who wants to chip in first? Guys, we there?
Yeah, I was saying, like, obviously he's saying we don't even know who he is. He's meaning about, like, no one knows who Makabu is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no one knows who he is. You know, it's just, and what else has annoyed people about it is that Canelo said he's gonna stay at 168 and cruiserweight, and he actually got asked to move up to cruiserweight, and he said no, cruiserweight is too big. And like he was, so his manager and trainer was saying it's either gonna be Bivol, Beterbiev, Benavidez, or Charlo next. He was saying that for months,
that's what
getting people excited because those were the guys that mainly people wanted Canelo to fight. Everyone's getting excited, and then he just does this. I can understand why people are angry, but I'm not going to say it's right to. I'm not going to say cherry pick those. People are calling it because Makabu is he's a flipping cruiserweight. He's a very dangerous fighter still, but it's just not Canelo. You know, he's a pound for pound fighter, and he says he fights for the fans, but no one asks for this. That's why people are annoyed. You can't just it's just not. I can understand why people are angry.
Imran, I think if he had gone on to face Breedis, if he had picked Breedis, I think that would have been much more what you call it, respect there.
I think Breedis actually called him out as well.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That's another reason why people might get annoyed. Then that's probably why people are calling me a cherry pick. Then.
Yeah, but it's better to be a cherry picker than to not be picking nothing. You know, I mean, what are these other guys picking? They ain't picking nothing.
That's true as well. We got to look at that as well. It's like I feel like you know what, we're asking too much for Canelo. The bar set very high for Canelo, man. And what I mean by that is that these other guys can fight Quigley, and these other guys can fight Tyrone Smith, Tyrone Davis? Sorry, but yeah, Canelo has to fight killers after killers after killers after killers. Like, let's be honest, there was people saying that Plant could beat Canelo, or he was fighting American fighters. Then he fought Plant. Now people are saying another thing, and now it's never going to stop. I can understand people not liking the move. I can understand people not being happy with the move. And I see Steven's in the house. Steven, if you want to come on and give your say, you're more than welcome. I'm dropping the link. But here's the thing. We've got to understand is that Canelo's not the only fighter in world boxing. We need to start putting more pressure, like as fans, on Andrade, Charlo. Why are they not fighting each other? Canelo's not stopping them fighting each other. Benavidez could fight. Like, I feel sorry for Benavidez. I feel sorry for Andrade because I actually think they're not worried about Canelo. They want to fight other guys as well. But I think they're slightly avoided because they're dangerous. Oh, I don't know, man. I find it difficult because I want to see these big fights, and I just think Canelo, the bar set very high. It's like if Canelo doesn't fight a top tier opponent, it's kind of like we're expecting Canelo to move up to all these divisions and fight the best all the time. And what we've got to understand is Canelo's walking a tightrope right now. He's walking a very thin line. Is that Makabu might flatten him. Makabu may beat him. He might flatten him. right? And then what we're gonna say? It's a cherry pick. The guy's moving up a lot of weight and fighting big guys, right? That's not easy to do. Imagine Makabu against Andrade. Imagine Makabu against Charlo. I won't give
And
them
that,
any for winning those fights.
and that's the and that's the thing in boxing. You have fighters that are always looking to have a size advantage. It's very rare that you see a fighter given size advantage. We're watching, most of these fighters, the Andres, the Charlos, the David Benavidez is a cruiserweight, man. That he can be a heavyweight.
Yeah, man, he could.
He's drying up just so he can have a physical advantage over the fighter. You know what I'm saying? So this is very rare in this sport where you see a guy give up size, give up mass and face these obstacles, where most of the time, 97% of the time, fighters are looking to always have a size advantage over their opponent. They're always constantly looking to do that. That's why they go down in weight, Like you said, let's see Andre or Charlo or David or any of them move up to cruiserweight and fight the guy Canelo's gonna fight. Let's see any of them do that. Fight the other guy then. Fight the other welterweight champion, the one that called out Canelo. Fight him then. I'm sure he won't.
The thing is, though, Benavidez, he's actually trying to fight these guys. I mean, he's been trying to fight Charlo. He even tried fighting Andrade. Benavidez should get a pass. He generally has been trying to fight these guys. But Charlo, he's a clown. So is Andrade. So I can understand you from there. But Benavidez, I don't know why he's getting crap for it. He's trying to fight. He's trying to fight, and he is as well.
He could, but he didn't even make weight this time around. The guy made 169, man, and that was come on, man.
Imran,
what that tells you.
If Canelo gets past Makabu,
fight people.
If Canelo gets past Makabu, I think there is going to be a lot of pressure on him to fight Breedis. And I don't know. I think he might be reluctant to take that fight.
And
let me get someone else's thought. Let me get Steven's thought on this. Steven, you said you're not happy with Canelo moving up to fight Makabu. You're not happy with him going to cruiserweight. Why, Steven?
Well,
I hope you're well first. I hope you're well.
I'm not happy. Oh, yeah. It's all good, man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man.
Okay. Yeah, man. Here's the thing, man. You got two beasts at 175 that you can go scrap with. Yeah. You got guys in your current weight division you can go scrap with. Hey man, listen, I've said before that I got Canelo second best pound for pound, so I don't want to hear nobody coming at me saying that I'm hating this, that, and the third. But here are the facts, man. There's a lot of suitable guys he could fight. Saying Makabu, if you want to go to cruiserweight, go call out Lawrence O'Colly. Call out the best if you want to go to cruiserweight. But I think everybody knows that Makabu, Junior Makabu, is not. I don't think he has the skills and everything. I think everybody knows that to beat Canelo. So it seems like he is cherry picking. At this point, it does seem like he's cherry picking, and I don't like the move, man. I don't like that move at all.
I can understand where he's coming from, because if Canelo's saying he's looking for greatness, if you're looking for greatness, wouldn't you want to fight the best guy in that division? But he's not. But
because I mean, it seems like he's picking these. He right here in this instance right here. We ain't gonna talk about anything that predates this. But we talking about this instance right here. This seems like it's a for sure cherry pick. Most boxing fans, if you don't keep up with boxing, you don't even know who Makabu is.
Yeah, man, I've got another point here. Now, when Canelo moved from 168 to pick up the belt of Kovalev, now one question: why didn't Canelo stay at 175 and fight the best fighters there then? And instead of moving back down and now going back up to cruiserweight, it's kind of showing the general public he swerving and trying to pick out the weakest links.
Ahmed, Stephen, I'm going to put this point out to you. AM says you can't cherry pick a cruiserweight champion when you're a natural middleweight. He's got a point, man.
Canelo's not a natural middleweight. What are you talking about?
Who said
Canelo's
that?
Canelo's a big
AM said
guy.
that. AM said
No,
you
yeah,
can't
he's
cherry
fighting
pick
bigger
a
guys still,
cruiserweight
but
champion
Canelo,
when
he's a
you're a
big guy,
natural
man.
middleweight.
Canelo's not no big guy.
Yes, he
Listen,
is. Canelo's
No,
huge.
He's not a cruiserweight, though.
Canelo's a junior middleweight. That's what he
He's
is.
not a
Well, you think that's his
though.
walking around weight? If that's
Yeah.
can't be his walking around weight. No, it can't be.
Go look at Canelo standing next to Tofino or Hayes or Ryan. Go look at him. He's actually smaller than the guys. Now, the only reason he has trouble making weight is because he's been making weight his whole life. So it gets harder and harder and harder to
So
do.
if you're saying he walks around, at middleweight, why is he cutting weight to make super middleweight? Canelo's huge.
He loses maybe about 7 pounds to make 168. He probably walks around at best 170.
How he looks at the weigh-ins, he definitely doesn't. He definitely cuts a lot more than that. Because when you look at him in the weigh-in, then on fight night, he looks a lot bigger. Canelo's walking around weight. He does walk around quite big.
No cherry.
So what is walking
cherry picking
around
on
quite
that.
big? What is walking
Listen,
around quite big?
I reckon
no cherry
he's walking
picking.
around.
No cherry picking on this, man. Listen. Nobody knows Makabu. Nobody knows Makabu. Makabu. He got knocked out. Who's that beat him in ring?
Tony Bellew beat him, and he also lost his first fight via knockout in the first round or something.
Nobody wants to see this, man. Nobody wants to see this. Ain't nobody making
Well,
no
you can't talk. You can't. You see, I don't like when people say nobody because ain't nobody the ambassador of nobody. You speak for yourself. I don't want to see this. Don't say nobody wants to see this because nobody's made you the ambassador to
You want to see it, though?
I'm sure there's a lot of people out there.
Do you want to see it?
I don't think anyone said after Canelo beat Plant, "Oh, I want to see Canelo fight Makabu." No one said that.
Nobody wasn't expecting him to move up to cruiserweight. Like I said before, the attraction in this fight is, when have you ever seen a small guy like this take on this kind of a challenge? That's what's really interesting.
Oh yeah,
it's not about that.
He might as well go fight Jay Paul then. Jay Paul's at cruiserweight. Go fight Jay Paul. You want to fight? If you want to cherry pick, go. Why not make some real money? Fight Jay Paul.
Cherry picking somebody that can knock your head off. It's not a cherry pick. I mean, come on, man. That's a big guy.
What I'm saying that he's not challenging Lawrence O'Callaghan.
Who's that? Who's that? Oh, the biggest and the baddest.
Yeah, so I mean, Lawrence Okoli is a 6'5", 6'6" cruiserweight champion.
But he's at cruiserweight.
Like it's not enough.
If he wants a campaign at cruiserweight, that's what I'm saying. But he don't really.
Not a campaign. That's a visit.
He doesn't need to fight at cruiserweight, man. He can go. He goes to 175. You got Bivol and Better Beef right there.
Yeah, so they can fight each other. Bivol and Better Beef can fight each other.
And I mean, what proves that Canelo didn't want to fight Bivol is that he tried fighting him on a catch weight. Like, tried making him come down to 168. Like, it's like, I'm kind of seeing the pattern here, you know?
This is what's so funny. So if Canelo was trying to fight a junior welterweight right now, like Bivol's trying to fight him or anybody else is trying to fight him, you would be criticizing him for doing that. But because these bigger guys want to do it with him, it's okay. Because
Canelo went in that division. No one asked for him to go to cruiserweight or anything. Canelo moved up and started talking about greatness.
Yeah,
if you want to be great, you need to fight the best guy in the division.
How would you know? How would you know what it is to be great? Have you ever tried it?
Well, you don't know. It's clearly obvious greatness in boxing. I mean,
greatness for someone can be very different than it is for someone else. You can challenge yourself to be great in any other way.
I mean, greatness is doing the best thing.
He needs to be great by proving it with other fighters who haven't fought nobody.
Right. If you're saying when you're moving up to fight a guy, yeah, and you're saying, "Oh yeah, I'm doing this for greatness, for my legacy." Surely, it would be the best guy.
No, surely it would be a challenge. It doesn't usually come with a guy in it. It's a challenge.
Here's the thing, guys.
Individual.
Edward Cruz makes a great point. Why is everyone asking for Canelo to fight everyone from Ronda Rousey to Thanos, but don't nobody ever ask the same for all the other fighters? I agree with that. It's like Canelo seems like the guy that we want to see. Canelo can't fight everybody as well. So when are these guys going to start fighting each other? When is Andrade going to fight Charlo? When is Charlo going to fight Benavidez?
I've told them to do that in the last stream.
That's not the topic of discussion right now. I mean, Canelo, his camp came out with this information. We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us. The move is wax off, man. This move is wax off.
But Stephen, don't you think it's a dangerous fight? Stephen, don't you think it's a dangerous fight?
I mean, it's boxing. Anything can happen. But if they were to fight, I had to put my money on Canelo. It's a given.
Put it this way, let me ask you like this. If Makabu was to fight Benavidez or Makabu was to fight Andrade or Charlo, who would you pick in that fight?
You say what? Say what?
If Charlo fought Makabu or Benavidez fought Makabu at Cruiserweight or Andrade fought Makabu, who would you pick?
I don't know. I couldn't say that.
I'll tell you what they would not be saying. They wouldn't be saying as a cherry pick. They'll be saying, "Oh my God, Andre's taking a chance. Oh my God, David's taking a chance. It's unbelievable. They're going up." That's what they will be saying. But because it's Canelo, it's a cherry pick.
I mean, don't you think? I mean, yeah, that's wrong. But don't you think people would say that because Canelo is pound for pound number one, and Andrade isn't even pound for pound? I mean, I'm not saying it's right, but that's probably. I mean, people put Canelo to another standard because he's pound for pound. He's a number one guy, so he should be fighting the number one guys. Simple as that.
By the way, let me put out that I don't think Andrade or Benavidez beat Makabu. I think if Makabu,
not only that,
both Andrade, I think Andrade would be able to get out of his way, but I think Benavidez would get KO'd because Makabu hits too hard. Makabu put down a heavyweight. He put down Bellew. Bellew's almost a heavyweight. The guy's 6'4", Bellew, and Bellew could fight.
But Imran, do you think Canelo will fight Makabu at the full weight, or do you think there's going to be some weight limit?
I don't know, and I hope not. I hope Canelo fights him because Makabu's a big cruiserweight. Stephen, what's your take on that though? Would you be if Canelo put some kind of rehydration clause, or if Canelo puts some kind of weight limit on that? Because we know Makabu's a big cruiserweight. Makabu can't come down, or Makabu's a big guy, right? What would be your take if Canelo goes up to that weight? Do you think he needs to fight him at the limit?
Here's the thing. We wouldn't be having this conversation if they had rules in boxing. And they wouldn't give all this power to these fighters. They give too much power. They don't have any type of guidelines, any type of structure. He's just one person hop up and hop weight class, the next. If they have a structure, we wouldn't be talking about this now because we have a mandated opponent. You know what I'm saying? A mandated opponent. Because we give these boxers too much power. They sit around, they cherry pick all of them, not Canelo, but all of them. Yeah. All of them. They sit around saying, "Oh, I want to fight you because I know I can beat you this, that, and the third." And it's just a bunch of BS.
Mm-hmm. I get where you're coming from. Of the unexpected. I get where you're coming from, Stephen. So, would you prefer? See, Stephen, I know you're high on the fact that you don't like boxers jumping to different weight classes. You criticized Gervonta Davis as well because you felt Gervonta Davis was moving from weight class to weight class, not fighting the best, right?
Right.
I agree with that point of view. There's still fighters to fight. But I don't understand what caused this, Steve, because Canelo's manager said, Canelo said a couple of days back that he's looking to fight Benavidez, Beterbiev, Bivol, or Charlo next. Then all of a sudden we hear he's going to be fighting at Cruiserweight. I just don't understand it. It's confused me. It's come out.
Money. You know what happened? You know what happened?
Money.
You know, Imran, the same thing happened like with Javante and his old punk team. Floyd Mayweather and them said, you know what? This guy, he may serve you up. He may beat you. So we want to take the safe route. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna make you go up to one. We're gonna put you at 140, and we're gonna make you fight this guy that's unknown. Just the same. It's the same format. I swear, it's the same format.
No, it's
The
not.
same
It,
blueprint.
it comes down to money. These guys price themselves. They're gonna go and fight Canelo. Everybody wants 10 to 15 to 20 million. He's like, listen, I'd rather go ahead and just fight some. I'm gonna still generate that money anyway, so I don't have time to be negotiating with this. So I'm moving on.
Nah, that's not what it is. I disagree
It's
with you,
all
buddy.
So because you're saying that a guy like David Benavidez is gonna fight Canelo for $5 million?
I'd say I think he'll fight it for $5 million. I think he
No, he
would.
won't.
Not
Not after
negotiations or
Plant got
anything.
10 million. Not after Plant got 10 million. If Plant got 10 million, David gonna be asking for 15. Charlo's asking for 20.
David
You know.
knows. Listen, man. I respect you, and but I just want to make this comment. I just want to make this point. David knows in his heart he can beat Canelo, so he's betting on himself. It's not about the $5 million. He knows that if he beats, piss on his $5 million. If I beat Canelo, I'm the money man. Then I can command. That's what he said. That's what they. So David Benavidez don't have no qualms about fighting Canelo for $5 million. It's not about
How
that.
you know?
It's about
No. But he might not.
One more thing. It's about these fighters. Not
He might not have a problem with the $5 million, but his promoter will, his manager
hold on.
will, his trainer will. They will because they got to get a certain food. So
It's about these fighters not wanting to be ill and not wanting to take the safest route just to preserve their records. Listen, man. When I was a youngster watching boxing, man, a loss made you authentic. It made you. I don't understand what these guys are afraid of with the L. The loss makes you that's why we respect Canelo now, because he was beat by the best. He was beat by the best and he improved himself. You able to, you know what I'm saying? We don't see no more. The Ray Leonards and the marvelous Marvel Hagler's and all these other ones, all these other greats that we talk about. We don't have them no more. We live in a superficial boxing world now, and it's time for it to stop.
yeah, but we have them. We have them. It's just social media has given some of these fighters an outlet to promote themselves, so they don't have to go in there and give you the fights they want to give you. That's just the truth. I mean, that's what we're arguing about right now. These guys won't fight each other. We got great fighters. We got the Charlos, we got the Andres, we got the Bivos, we got the Benavidez, but none of them is facing each other. So we can't just make Canelo be the one fighting everybody. We got to get these guys. They all fought each other. Hagler fought Duran, Duran fought Burns. They all fought each other.
I didn't single Canelo out. I said all these fighters are acting the same type of way. They cherry picking, man. But Canelo right now, this move right here is egregious, and you should be able to see this move right here.
I love it. I love it. I want to see the size disparity. I want to see how Skills could mummify size. I really want to see it. I think that's actually the art. I think that's actually the art behind all of this. Is can your skills face physical attributes, and that's what's a pound for pound for me. I can't get
man. You know what? That's not a good analogy to me, because I could be big as but if I don't have no skill, if I'm not a professional fighter, then the talent and everything is opposite. I mean,
yeah, but this guy's a champion. This is a champion at Cruiserweight. This is a champion.
We want to see good matches.
Champion. This is a world champion.
We can talk about this till the cows come home, but the move is wax off. I don't care if it was. I don't care if it was Jesus Christ himself. If Jesus Christ had said, if he made this move, you had to, man, you had to criticize this. Now I understand
Nah,
we
I can't.
love these fighters and everything, but let's not be naive and silly about it. Come on,
Nah,
man.
that's actually that's actually the art behind it. Can your skills
You know,
can they
man.
can they face it?
So
Stephen,
Tiger Stripe is saying Canelo is fighting bomb. He goes, how many Hall of Fame fighters has Canelo beaten? His best win was GGG, which was controversial as well. Makabu got KO'd by Bellew. What do you guys make? What do you guys make of what Tiger
Well,
Stripe
no, the Hall of Fame thing, it makes no sense really, because if you beat Benavidez, that would be a Hall of Fame win now, so that makes no sense. I mean, not a lot of no fighters active now has any Hall of Fame wins. We just need to wait in a long time to see what those guys do after Canelo beats them. So the Hall of Fame thing makes no sense.
The Hall of Fame thing would be if they was to fight each other, then they can build that status to become Hall of Famers. You see,
right.
if Andre faces Charlo and they face each other, they go up to that Hall of Fame status, and then Canelo be fighting somebody that's a Hall of Famer. But how is
Even
it
then, they're still the Hall of Fame, so we have a good win. But yeah, I would love them to fight each other. That's what we all want. But we can't just say that because obviously, I mean, Rocky Field, he fought no one. Canelo's fighting Makabu. That guy's fought no one. Like, we can't just be saying, oh, they need to fight each other, but the guy that Canelo's fighting now, he doesn't.
Stephen, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Stephen, I've got a funny feeling that Canelo will put a rehydration limit on Makabu, and if he does that, would you give Canelo credit if he was then not going to win him?
No, I still, I don't know, man. I mean, he's kind of put me in a precarious situation, predicament where, I'm a side out this whatever clause. If he doesn't or do have a rehydration clause, I'm gonna look at this. It's gonna be another blemish on his record. I don't want that. I love Canelo. I think Canelo is the second best fighter in the world pound for pound. Don't make these moves, man. You know what I'm saying? Go to 175 or even take the challenge Benavidez talking about. Let's handle business. We'll cross the other bridges when we get to it. And he might as well go to heavyweight and fight the wackest heavyweight. Go fight Kanowski. Fight one of those. If you since you just doing the X, Y, and Z, they give these fighters too much power.
But don't you think that's actually good, because it serves as an example to the other fighters that don't be tied up to one division. If you have to go up to make, to take a chance. This is
because you need organization. You need organization. You need the Bulls can't say I'm gonna play a team from the CBA or a college football team, a college basketball team. You have to have structure. You have to have a way, organized way, or order. The world is this right now. We got to this place in mankind because of order, because of regulation, because of mandates. I can't go outside and take my pay out and just piss anywhere. There's a structure to things. You shouldn't be able to just move and hop up.
Yeah, we don't want you to do that, Steve. We definitely don't want you to do that.
I think with what Canelo's doing now, I think the other fighters should follow. But I know one fighter that'll follow him, and that's Terence Crawford. I think will probably move up to 154 soon. I think.
Guys,
it's not about following them. It's about, we have a lot of guys out here that ain't getting the fights that they say they want to get, and that's because they're tied up to one division. Move up if you have to. You have to. I mean, that's what you're in. You're fighting, man. And when you're fighting, you got to be willing to take on whatever's coming your way. So open up the doors. And be willing to go up maybe a division, or even come down a division if it's necessary to get the fight you want.
Stephen, Hawker Mustang is going after you. He's saying Stephen is a hater. He's hating on Canelo. Stephen,
They always
you
say that.
need to respond.
I must be a hater
I'm
as well.
look,
I'm saying the same stuff.
Tell him to come on. Tell him come on live if he want to. If he want to, if he want to,
Yeah, Hawker
talk to me.
Mustang, come on live and have a chat with Stephen.
I understand how it don't make. I understand how it don't make sense to Steven now, but as the fight gets closer and it gets made, it'll become more interesting. Especially when you see them in the ring together, you'll be like, "Oh my God, this guy's in there with that guy." You know, it's gonna be. It's gonna be a very. It's gonna be one of those edgy fights because one of those guys, like Imran was saying, they land one of those hams on you. I don't care who you are. You know, you get to spaghetti legs. So it's an edgy fight. It's a very edgy fight for. He's got to be very. He's got to take a lot
Do
of
you know what scouting is in sports? You know what scouting is in sports? Scouting is surveying your opposition strategically to see what advantages you have. And once you do good scouting, whether it's whether you trying to recruit or whether you're trying to win the game, good scouting is basically cheating in the city. They know what O'Callaghan can do. I mean, Makabu can do. They seen it. They said, you know, he's good, but he ain't that good. He ain't that good. And you know what, man? To everybody saying that I'm a hater,
What?
you say I'm a hater when I've already specified that I'm not just talking about Canelo cherry picking. But this subject has to happen to be on Canelo. But if that's all you hear and you don't hear the logic of what I'm saying, then shame on you. I can't, you know what I'm saying? I can lead you to the water, but I can't make you drink it.
Hey,
You're just a
Steven,
stupid
I
horse.
respect your opinion. I respect your opinion, my brother. You ain't got to worry about that, man. I mean, you got a right to your opinion, and it's respected, man. So, you know, I don't support it, but hey,
Likewise to you,
I
man.
respect it. You know?
Yeah, well, likewise to you.
It's heated.
But,
It's heated because people are upset. Some people are upset because there's some big names that Canelo could have fought at 160, 675, 168, sorry, and 175, and it's kind of like going up to fight Makabu. You know, it's just kind of I don't know. It's
Let down.
really fun. I don't know. Well, go on, Makai. Makai, you there?
Hello?
Ash, let me bring Ash in. Ash hasn't had a word. Ash, what do you make of Canelo going up to cruiserweight?
For me, I can't blame him, to be honest with you, man. I'm hearing everyone's opinion. But what you got to remember is that the guys that are around his weight are not fighting anyone else. They're not fighting any champions. If they were, then the fans can put the pressure on Canelo and say, hold on, he's fought this guy. He's fought this guy, and, you know, he's worthy of a fight with you. But you name me a guy that's worthy of a fight with him right now that's fought someone. Anyone here. Even Stephen. I hear Stephen's point. But Stephen, you got to remember, no one around Canelo is fighting anyone out either. So why does everyone bang on about Canelo why is he fighting Makabu? Yes, he's the cherry pick for Canelo, but he can do it because none of the guys around him are fighting any champion. They're putting any pressure on to say, oh, hold on, I deserve a fight. Yeah, that's my opinion on that. So he's a cherry pick in a way, but I feel he's allowed that cherry pick because, one, like I said, there's no one around his weight class that is fighting champions and pulling up trees and saying, hold on, I want to fight Canelo. I deserve it. And if there is, you tell me.
Well, I want to
Let me ask you this then. Let me ask you this then, Stephen Ahmed. Is there a possibility then we could see Canelo v Usyk at cruiserweight?
I don't think he can beat Usyk, and I don't think he'll ever take that fight. Whether it's like whether even if he makes Usyk come down to cruiserweight limit, I think Usyk will be too good for him, too strong, and he can't win that fight.
Yeah, I just think that Canelo was he's in a tough spot, you know, and that's not, you know, that could be attributed to his greatness because he's in the spot to where everybody's going to critique his move. But I don't think the best moves are being made right now.
Just,
It pertains to this scenario right here.
just to add,
Take the Benavidez fight. Take that fight.
But Stephen, if he moves,
Yeah,
if he's now moved to cruiserweight, why can't we talk about an Usyk fight? If he's moved to cruiserweight, why can't we talk about that fight? Because Canelo's making that move.
hold on, man. Let me say one thing.
Usyk's a heavyweight, though, isn't he?
Why
No,
was
but Usyk could come down to cruiserweight.
yeah, but
I'm
listen,
pretty sure Usyk would want that money against Canelo.
Yeah, but Usyk
Hold
would be
on.
killing himself to make cruiserweight.
Hey?
what,
No, but they could probably do it at 200 pounds. Like, Usyk's not a big banger anyway. So, what I'm saying is, the point I'm trying to make, if Canelo's gone to cruiserweight, and if he does well there, what's to say that he can't fight Usyk? If Usyk can make the weight. If Usyk says, I'll come back down to cruiserweight, why can't that fight happen?
That's a
That's
good.
just not
Imran, I want to just say, if he did have that Usyk in his mind, if he had Usyk in his mind, he would fight the best cruiserweight. If he had Usyk in his mind, if he wanted to fight Usyk in his mind, he would say, right. His management would say, we want to fight Breedis.
No, because
You understand what I'm
sometimes
saying?
the best fighter doesn't mean that's going to prepare you for that fighter. If you look at this guy, he's a southpaw, he's a big guy, kind of is in the realm of being
Nelson, your voice. What's happened to your voice? I can't hear you properly.
Okay, what I'm saying is, sometimes the best fighter doesn't mean.
Nelson, we can't hear you. Can you come back off and come back on? Come back off and come back on. I can't hear you, man. So, Stephen, what were you saying? No, it's not, man. It's not. Your voice is not coming properly.
Imran, did you get my point of view?
Yeah, I got it, man. I got it. That's why I was gonna come to Stephen with that. Stephen, what do you make of what? So why can't he fight Usyk? Ahmed is saying, well, if he had that in mind, he would have fought the best guy at cruiserweight.
And that was the point I was trying to make with him fighting. If he going up to cruiser and you challenging somebody, I mean, you might as well fight the best. Fight Lawrence. You know what I'm saying? Fight Lawrence right now. You know, the whole thing is kind of, man, it's kind of put me in a situation to where I'm disgruntled. I'm already disgruntled because of everything going on right now. But you know, Canelo pulling this right now, it's just more the same. Him, Javante, Tank Davis, you know, the Charlo brothers, they all doing it right now. And this right here is just fighting. Don't go fight no Makabu, man. Nobody know Makabu.
Mayweather used to do the same thing as well, though.
That's where they got it from. Is Floyd Daddy Mayweather.
I hear what you're saying, but what the point we got to come across is the fans are going to lose because we're not going to see him fight these guys. But the fact of the matter is, if you look at boxing, if you look in history, Mayweather done it. Every big fighter did this. They didn't always go back to back and fight every champion. In one hand, he doesn't need to go up these weights. If Canelo, fans are like, oh, let him go and do this. Yeah, okay, he's due criticism. Well, I hear from Imran because he's gonna step into that weight. Now, why is he not fighting maybe the best or Usyk or whatever? But he doesn't need to go up there. Even if he didn't, and if he fought the guys around him, then no one can beat him anyway. But that goes back to the same point. Yeah, he can have criticism for what he's doing right now. He fought Yildirim and now he's fought this guy. But you guys are forgetting, what are your other guys doing? You're talking about David Benavidez needs to fight him. Oh, Charlo needs to fight him. Oh, he needs to. Who has Charlo fought? I don't even know any name to record as Charlo's fought a top guy. You're talking and saying, oh, these guys need to fight. Canelo needs to fight. These guys were all upset. Why is he fighting this guy? No one knows. But your mans that you're asking to fight are fighting no one as well. Look at David Benavidez. He just fought a guy who come from 160.
Yeah, but how you look at it, who did Rocky Fielding fight?
Yeah, but this goes back to this then. That Rocky Fielding and this guy now is a needle in a haystack in Canelo's record. Go back to the guy you're talking about and guys you're talking about. Check their record. How many guys have they got?
Who did Saunders? Who did Plant?
Have they got Kovalev on their record? Have they got these type of guys on their record? I don't think so. So you
So
can't say.
no, they ain't. They ain't got
Yeah,
COVID on
yeah,
their record.
how can you say that
My
then?
point is that no one asked for this fight. People were getting excited for like, guys like Benavidez and everyone. And
No,
Canelo
okay,
even said those are the four guys he will fight
okay.
next, and then he just comes out of nowhere and
Just a
fights
similar,
Makabu.
just a similar
No one
comparison.
even knows.
Mayweather fought Madonna when everyone was crying out for the Khan fight. He even put a poll up, but he fought
Oh
Madonna
yeah,
instead.
I
Who
take
was?
Mayweather to the same sentence.
Yeah,
He's a
yeah, but
Mayweather
I'm
in
just giving you.
those days. He's a cherry picker. I
Yeah,
mean, I
but
think
look, I'm
Mayweather
just
was
giving you a
cherry
point.
picked.
Mayweather is one of the greatest fighters in our era, and he did a lot of this. But people are saying that. But you got to remember, is around Mayweather at the time, the top fighters were still fighting top guys, so he had that pressure. He had extra pressure from the fans. And hold on, he deserves to fight you. Like, oh, Amir Khan was coming off a brilliant couple of fights. He had a good, and everyone was saying, oh, Amir Khan deserves that fight. But here right now, what I'm saying is none of these guys around these division, in my opinion, deserve the Canelo fight. Why are you guys putting them in a fight where they're going to become 20, 30 millionaires? What have they done? Mayweather used to when you got in the Mayweather sweeps, it's because you got in there and had some big fights and won some big fights, and that's when you got in them sweeps. These fighters have not won nothing, got a belt, got a hold of a belt, like to say Andrade. He's got that hold of that belt, and he doesn't want to risk fighting some top guys, and then he wants Canelo. He wants a big fight. Don't make sense to me.
So let me ask you this, Ash. Then,
Sure.
who does he need to be fighting then? Who does Canelo need to be fighting then? If you was the matchmaker,
In my opinion, he needs to pick a weight class now and stick to that weight class and clear that weight class and end his career.
No, that's beyond. That's over with. He's at another level now with that. He's not tying down, and it's not only that. It shouldn't tie down any other
No, but
fighter.
Steve asked the question what he thinks I think he should do, who he should fight, and that's why I said that's in my opinion he should stick to one division now because he's moved up a bit. You can sadly can't go to 175 really because against the Kovalev was towering over him, and because Kovalev was a bit at the back end of his career, he knocked him out. If that was maybe 4 or 5 years, if that was the Kovalev that fought Andre Ward, maybe it could have been a different story, but we won't know that. But
Yeah,
it's
he put dehydrating clothes on Kovalev as well.
yeah, but what I'm
no,
saying, Ahmed, is that what I'm saying is I think he's hit his limit now. He can't go in my opinion. I don't think he can. I don't think he can compete with a guy like like a really good operator at a decent weight, a top fight, and he that
could.
weight.
You keep saying
He
these
could
guys
do
need.
it. It can be done. It just cannot be done too often. You see, because that's what you're asking him to do. You're asking him to do it too many times. He can do it one time. Like he can give you a good fight with a Bivol, but he's not going to give you that and then Benavidez and then David. You're asking for too much. You understand? Can he give you that one good fight with them? Yeah, he can. One good fight.
What am I saying? I'm saying to you,
you're asking for a sequence.
back to what I was saying was Bivol and Benavidez are two different weights. So what I'm saying is if he sticks to one weight and beats the champions there now and beats everyone in that weight, goes their day.
But that's also the rich. That's also the richness of Canelo because he's actually spreading the wealth. I mean, when do you ever get to talk about cruiserweight?
Look, put it this way.
When do you ever get to talk
right?
about the weight classes? A guy from the Congo, a guy from Turkey. He's fighting in Florida. He's fighting in Texas. He's fighting in Vegas.
Look,
you know,
all I'm
he's
gonna say is this.
spreading the love around, man. I mean, I would be excited about it because we never even get to talk about cruiserweight. Now look what we're doing now.
So, all I'm saying is,
guys,
I wonder why everybody always says anytime you say something. I'm just looking at the comments and everybody. One guy, Carlos Torres, y'all hate me because all the experts have Canelo won. Why do we always gotta be hating, man?
It's just an opinion. We can't praise Canelo for everything.
Here's the thing. Let me bring Mike in, guys. I haven't heard Mike for a long time. Mike keeps it real. Mike, how are you, man? Mike? What's happened to Mike?
Oh, Mike. That's my dude too, man.
Mike. He dropped the mic.
Oh, Mike. I don't know what's happened to Mike. Go on, Stephen. What were you saying?
I was just saying, man. Yeah, I was just saying that, You know, we always gotta be haters. We always gotta be attacked, man. We just making observations, man. We it's just you know, we just
Oh,
have different opinions. We can come to a consensus, but you know, we just having a conversation about things,
okay,
man. And there's
okay. I got one question for you, Steven. You may not
Mhm.
like it, but do you respect it? Do you respect the move?
Yo,
Yo, Mike, what's going on?
okay, my bad, man.
Yeah, Mike. Sorry about that, Nelson. Let me get Mike in there. Mike, I haven't heard you for a while, man. What are you saying? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. How's everyone doing? I see
what's up, Mike?
we got the heated debate now, huh?
Yeah. We want to know your opinion about Canelo moving to cruiserweight. What's your opinion?
Well, honestly, man, I was kind of surprised. I mean, I wasn't expecting it at all. So, I can understand why some people might think that might be disappointed, a little bit disappointed because they were kind of projecting other fights. But if could I get a little bit of the disappointment, but I don't understand the whining or like the excessive whining, you know what I mean? Because it's coming off like diva like, especially from fans, because Canelo can only fight one guy at a time, right? So
Yeah.
even if he goes up and he beats this dude, he's a 5 division champion, which breaks the Mexican record to begin with. He can always come back down and still fight the guys that everybody wants. Those fights are still there. So why do people make it seem? Why do people make it seem as if he moves up? That's it. That's the end of these other fights.
I mean, do we actually know if he's in the fight then, though? Because we was all thinking he was in the fight Benavidez, the PBC guys, as everyone, like his manager, Espinosa was saying. Then he just comes out with this. I'm not fairly confident that he's in the fight those guys after.
Well,
I don't know what's going on.
Well, hold on. Look, from what I saw, from what Eddie Reynoso said recently in some of the interviews, I saw a bunch of interviews recently. He said that he had already talked to Canelo Alvarez and that they had already decided on going up to cruiserweight before he even fought Caleb Plant. So, they've also asked Reynoso many times about Benavidez, about Charlo. They asked him recently after the announcement to go to cruiserweight, and he said the same thing. He said those fights are still there. We're still willing to take those fights. The problem is though that you could only fight one guy at a time. So let's say Canelo Alvarez fights. Let's say he fights Charlo, right? Because that was one of the fights that people were bringing up. If he fights Charlo, then you're gonna see the Benavidez fans, and they're gonna be whining, "Oh, he didn't fight my guy." If he fights Benavidez, then the Andrade fans are going to come again and say, "Oh, he's still ducking Andrade." If he fights Andrade, then they're going to say, "Well, how come he didn't fight Better Biev?"
Yeah, that's fanboys. That's fanboys.
No, bro, but okay, but that's what I'm saying though. Like how? So what I'm trying to say is this: if you put yourself in Canelo Alvarez's place, how do you solve this problem? How do you satisfy everyone?
Well, you start by you just unify the division. You stick at that weight class. Give us some more fight. Make the fights, man. Not jumping up and down. There's what I'm saying. I can't get with that, man.
Well, let me ask you a question, Steven. Let me ask you a question.
I mean, what would help if Canelo don't
let
fight?
Let me ask you a quick question. What fight do you want, Steven? What fight do you want?
Well, you know what fight I want. I want the Benavidez fight.
Okay. Okay. Right now, let me ask you a question though. Right now, at this moment, I don't know in the future, right? Because I don't know what Benavidez is going to do later on in his career. But right now, at this moment, on paper, what would be a greater win? Beating Benavidez or being a 5th division champion?
On paper, for me, if you asking me,
no. I'm asking you what you think the consensus would be. Like what the majority of the pundits, writers, historians, what do you think they're going to rate higher? A Benavidez fight right now or being a 5th division champion, which would be a record?
I think by far it's going to be Benavidez. That's the fight everybody wants to see.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone wants to see that fight.
Yeah, but
so you're telling me that after he beats Benavidez, like let's say he beats Benavidez, that the majority of people are going to say that would be a greater win for his legacy?
But you can. Yeah, but it's a bit like this. No one knows who Makabu is. That's why no one gives Crawford a lot of credit. That's why anyone in the writers is not giving Crawford a lot of credit. But he was undisputed. But the guys he beat were awful. That's why no one's going to give Canelo credit for being Makabu. No one is. That's just how it is. But Benavidez, he's got a lot of hype on him. He has. He's a young guy. He's undefeated. And that's the fact that Canelo's own country wants. It's a Mexican fight. That's the fight that everyone wants to see. And
unless he beats the best guy.
I don't know, man. I just don't think it's that big of I don't think it's that big of a difference. If Benavidez goes on and he becomes a Hall of Famer because he's only 24, 25, then in that moment later on, if Canelo goes out and beats Benavidez might be one of his best wins, no doubt about it, from just an individual talent perspective. But if you're talking about Canelo Alvarez going all the way to cruiserweight, if you add the amount of weight that he's jumping from where he started, if you compare that, let's say, to Floyd Mayweather, that's even greater than the amount of weights Floyd jumped. So that's even greater than Mike.
You know what you do then? You go to cruiserweight and you fight the best cruiserweights. Then
Steven, you're also dissing Roy Jones Jr. for fighting Reese.
Yes, I am. As a matter of fact, that's always been questionable to me when he did that. You know what I'm saying?
You weren't impressed. You weren't impressed by that.
But it was
still be impressive.
He wasn't fighting the best heavyweight, man.
Of course he's not. Of course he's not. Why? I mean that because that would be dumb, Steven. You know that would be stupid. That would be stupid. Like what I'm trying to say is this, dog. What I'm trying to say is this: you can maneuver, bro. You can maneuver. Add to your legacy. You can add to your legacy, bro, without having to do the craziest shit possible. You could still get credit, even if you don't want to give him full credit. You can't sit there and tell me, dog, that going to cruiserweight gets Canelo no credit at all, bro. Like if you're a boxer, if I'm a boxer, I'm gonna let's say I'm Canelo Alvarez. I'm any boxer. It doesn't matter whether it's Andre, whoever it is, right? If I'm trying to be one of the greatest of all time, I'm talking about of all time, I'm going to try to add as much as I can to my legacy in every way that I can, whether it's by fighting the best fighters, moving up weight classes, fighting having a shitload of fights, a shitload of wins, multiple champions. I believe that's what Canelo's doing. He's doing different things to add to his legacy. So if he goes to cruiserweight, gets that title, that's 5 divisions. He could come back down, go to 175, try to get a better bid. He could still fight Benavidez. Benavidez, that fight is not going anywhere, bro. I'm telling you right now, because Benavidez, if it's not gonna be at 168, he's gonna end up at 175. Canelo Alvarez is gonna be from 168 to 175. That fight is always going to be there.
I'm gonna have to get off in a minute. But let me just say this. One of my favorite rappers of all time, he told me this. He said, "You're gonna be a monkey, you better be a gorilla." Okay, if you're gonna be a monkey, be a gorilla.
What rapper is that?
No, and here's another thing too, man. Listen, Canelo ain't getting no younger. How old is Canelo?
31.
He's 31. He's getting on up, man. I want to see some of these fights happen. I don't want to see no disorganized jumping up and down. If we could criticize Gervonta doing it, this, that, and the third, what's good for the goose is always good for the gander, man. I got to get off though, man. I love talking to y'all, man. I respect every one of y'all. All of y'all are brilliant boxer minds. Yeah, I love it, man.
One love. Steve,
we all know that the box.
Cool, Steve, man. Take care. I'll speak to you soon.
Peace out, Steve.
Take care, man. See ya.
I don't know, guys, but that's my take overall, dude. I just think that people are being impatient. I mean, I don't know what the homie's name is. That N. What's his name? N.
Nelson.
Nelson. I think Nelson's dead on, bro, and he always has great points. Like like we have to. Why is everybody looking at Canelo Alvarez and like waiting for him to make the next move? Who's he gonna fight? Is he gonna fight my guy next? He's gonna. A lot of people, a lot of the media. I don't know if you guys been reading what a lot of the media guys have been saying. Even some of Canelo's biggest haters are not disapproving of this move, and part of the reason why is because they're thinking that a lot of these dudes were in line to get the Canelo paycheck, and they were thinking they're setting themselves up for a main fight, and now by Canelo kind of doing something different while still creating history, it's forcing certain guys to potentially fight each other. Why doesn't Better Be and Bibble fight? Why doesn't Charlo and Andre fight, or Charlo and Triple G, or whoever the hell, and then whoever wins gets to fight Canelo in September or maybe even December? They're thinking of fighting twice for sure, or 3 times next year. So those fights are still there for next year.
Canelo's fighting 3 times next year, so I'll be happy if he fights either of those guys after Makabu. I'll be happy there, but I'm just not really looking forward to this one, man. I want this one to get over and done with, but it's in like May, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's May.
Yeah.
Imran,
But I can understand your point. You've got very good points.
Mike, can I ask you about Canelo against Makabu? Do you think Canelo will use a rehydration clause on Makabu?
I don't know. That's a great question, man. It's possible.
Because when Roy Jones moved up, he never done anything like that. Jumped up to heavyweight, made the 193 limit, 200-pound limit, and let John Ruiz rehydrate to however he wanted to. And he faced a better version of John Ruiz than David
I'll tell you
Hayfield.
what, man. I'll tell you what. If Canelo Alvarez would be able to use what Roy Jones Jr. was using, shit, I don't think he would need a rehydration clause either, man. To be honest with you, but
yeah, but Canelo's been caught. Canelo's been caught.
Yeah, but we I mean, unless we've been living under a cave, man, we already know what happened with that situation. There's a big ass report out there. We don't want to talk about that over and over.
Yeah, I don't want to go through that, to be honest, as well, man.
The point that I'm trying to make, that I get you though. I get you. That would not be
like
I would not be cool.
I will give Canelo credit for beating Makabu as long as he doesn't use them silly rehydration clauses.
I think at this stage he needs not to do that. He already knows that those, like, once again, I've always said this before, it's stages, so you kind of want to take the proper steps as you're moving up. But now at this stage that he's in, he's so sure he doesn't need those claws anymore. As you're moving up in weight, you want to go ahead and you want to touch you want to touch the waters before you get there. So, but at this stage that he's at right now, he don't need to. He won't. And I also think it's not only because of the challenge, but I also believe he doesn't want to fight the scales, man. When people don't understand this, but when you're constantly having to make weight all the time, in the last 4 months, this guy's had to face the scale. That gets harder and harder and harder to do. A lot of people don't understand that he might decide to take this fight just so he doesn't have to lose any weight. Just for him to be able to replenish his body at the same time, because he's being so active that it just doesn't give your body time to really replenish, So it might be. And another thing that people are missing is he's giving an opportunity to an African native from the, this has a lot of other beneficial factors to it than it's just a fight. It gets it spreads boxing back what it used to be, a worldwide sport where everybody can get involved. A lot of people see the Yildirim fight and say, "Oh, that fight was," but what about the kids from Turkey, where he's from, who might want to one day try to do this? This gives an opportunity to them to see that, hey, if he had a shot, maybe one day I get a shot. So boxing has always been a worldwide sport. And I believe that Canelo is actually bringing that back. I would rather him travel and go to whatever continent and fight whoever they have there to kind of spread boxing back to where it used to be a global sport, So it's a lot of underlying things that are going on here that many fans just don't see.
you know, that's a great point too, and I know I got in here late, but I also wanted to mention a little bit about that cherry pick thing. I don't know. I know a lot of these terms are thrown around a lot in boxing, like robbery, cherry picking, ducking, et cetera, right?
Those are phantom words in the business. Those are
Right,
phantom words in the business. That's
right.
what they are.
In my
No, hold on, hold on.
this is
Let
my
me just say one
definition,
thing.
right? Like this is what I feel a cherry pick is. Let's say you're in a division. This is my definition of a cherry pick. If you're in a division and you're campaigning in a division and you're not fighting the best guys in that division, and you're kind of maneuvering, maybe not fighting the champions or the ones that people not consider to be the best guys, the majority of them, if you're not fighting these guys, that's when you're cherry picking. If you're moving up in weight class and
Yeah.
you're making a debut in another weight class, that's not a cherry pick. If it's a champion,
No, hold on. It is a
that's
cherry pick because
no.
Canelo is a fan king. He's not no average fighter going up. He's the number one man. So if he's gonna go up and fight Makabu, it is a cherry pick in my opinion. So you can't say that.
No, but it's
Yeah.
if it's a cherry pick, Ash, then that
It-
means
It's a
you
taller
can't
tree,
blame.
so the cherry's higher.
No, but hold on,
Cherry pick
Ash.
is cherry
Like
pick, man.
think about this for a second, bro. If the structure of boxing, right, lends for these things to happen, so
No, let me say one thing. Let me say one
multiple
thing. Let me say
champions.
one
You
thing.
have multiple champions.
Hold on. You know
If there
Danny
was only
Garcia,
one,
yeah? Danny Garcia for Mauricio Herrera, yeah? I don't know what he did, but that was the cherry pick, and everyone agreed with it. That was a cherry pick, and people thought he lost as well. So when a pan for pan king does it and goes up, like, no one asked him to put his dip his toes at 175. He went up there, and now he's cherry picking. So one thing you gotta realize is, yeah, you maybe what you gotta realize is, yeah, maybe he's allowed to have a cherry pick if you want to say that, but don't say it's not a cherry pick because it is.
okay, but let me ask you a question. Is
But
who
Canelo's
is there
cherry
an
picks.
undisputed
Canelo's
fighter?
cherry.
Is there an undisputed fighter at catchweight right now? Is there an undisputed fighter?
Maybe.
Is anyone undisputed in the catchweight division? Is there one fighter that has all the belts?
Well, he's
Catchweight
undisputed,
division.
but that goes back to my point, innit? If you're undisputed, then you're going up and find the weakest guy in the division above. Doesn't really say a lot about you, does it?
No, Imran.
So wait a minute. I
What I
have,
was
I
trying
have
to
a
say.
question for that. So if David Benavidez or Andre or anybody was to fight this guy he's choosing to fight, would it be a cherry pick for them?
Yes, it would be, but not as an ultimate cherry pick. This is the
Uh-huh.
ultimate cherry pick. This is the ultimate cherry pick because he's the fan to fan king.
Yeah, Canelo gets put
When
to
a
another
champion
standard
does it,
because
when a
he's pound
champion
for
does it,
pound
it's a
number
cherry pick. Like I just explained, when Danny Garcia was a champion, he fought Mauricio Herrera. That was a cherry pick. It wasn't an ultimate cherry pick because he wasn't undisputed or unified or anything. So this is why I said this is the ultimate cherry pick because, in some people's eyes, Canelo is the number one fighter in boxing. So if he's doing this, then it's a cherry pick.
Ash, but
Okay,
that's my point.
so
You kind of
if
made my
Floyd
point
had
right there,
moved
bro.
up to middleweight, if Floyd had moved up to middleweight,
Yeah, but
and there was the middleweight
you can't
cherry
say
pick
Floyd
of
this
the
like that
champion,
because Floyd didn't dip his toes at
Danny
middleweight.
Jacobs,
Floyd
would
didn't
that
go
be a
up there.
cherry
Floyd fight at 160.
pick? You get it?
Did Floyd
If
fight
Floyd
at
moved up to
160?
160 and fights the cherry pick of the champions there,
Yeah, but you're
would that be
hypothetically saying that though. Floyd never done that. Floyd didn't go up to 154 or 160 and fought a weak champion, and yeah, and even when he did fight weaker fighters, we called it a cherry pick. But when you're saying it's not a cherry pick, I'm trying to explain to you how it is a cherry pick. I'm not saying it isn't. It is a cherry pick. I'm not saying Floyd didn't cherry pick either. But what I'm saying is, one of you guys are saying that it's not a cherry pick because he's gone up a division and he's not.
No, but it's because Ash, it's on a
well,
case by
maybe the
case basis.
definition of cherry pick, maybe the
Who
definition of cherry pick hasn't been cleared. In
Maybe
order for
maybe maybe it's a
maybe
unified champion.
Imran, what would you consider to be a cherry? What would you consider to be a cherry as a fighter? A cherry pick. What would be the
So a cherry pick
definition?
for me would
I'm
be
I'm
fighting
considering looking at
nobody, fighting a guy when you're a champion, fighting a guy that would be classified as somebody like a Rod
it's like
South. When
it's like
Danny
now.
Garcia or Rod Sauker, a guy that's not ranked, a guy that's
exactly?
a guy that's not really a top tier fighter.
But Danny Garcia is not Canelo's not on Danny Garcia's level. This is what I'm trying to say to this guy. You can't compare different fighters to say, oh, he did a cherry pick. You're
But Ash,
comparing the pound for pound king,
Canelo's
saying
pound for pound
But
number
that's the
one.
thing. We're
Makabu, if I'm
comparing.
not
We're
mistaken,
comparing. But
if
that's
I'm
what
not
we need to
mistaken,
understand.
isn't Makabu rated as the number 2 or number 3
Cruiserweight, yeah.
cruiserweight in multiple?
Yeah, he is. He is.
So
Yeah, but
So
that's my
he doesn't
point.
qualify as a cherry pick.
the
That's my
point is,
point.
it
That's
is a
my
cherry
point.
pick, and I
If
tell
you
you why,
don't want
he's not listening.
if you don't want a cherry pick to exist, it's not on Canelo. It's the structure of boxing. They have multiple champions. Your opinion is that there are better fighters at
Let,
the
let,
cruiserweight at the cruiserweight division. There's
let's
better
just say
fighters at the
this.
Yeah, but
cruiserweight
all I'm
division.
saying
Let's
is
just
this:
say
yeah,
this.
Canelo, he's pound for pound number one.
Yeah.
And if you're and he's always talking about greatness, yeah, and he has done greatness. I'm not taking anything away from him, but surely you'd want to fight the best in that division, which is Brady's.
That's
Of
all we're
course, he's
saying.
got 2 of the belts. That's
It's,
what I'm saying. But
it's,
I'm not too much into the cherry picking anyway. I just
you
don't
can,
support the fight.
I agree
anybody
with you,
in any
Makai,
division,
but that would mean that that Canelo's trying to campaign at cruiserweight. He's not. He's
any
not.
fighter in any division ranked 5 up is no cherry. In any division, any fighter that's ranked number 5 up in any division from the lightweights all the way to cruiserweight is not a cherry. These guys, they know the game. They know how to move around the ring. They know how to protect themselves. These are guys that are not cherries. You know, so
Yeah, we're not saying
that's
we're not saying the
what
taxi
cherry
drivers.
is.
What we're saying is he's the best fighter in the world. Why does he need to fight the 5th best guy?
Well,
6th
that's
best
what I'm
guy?
saying. The best fighter in the world
Good point, though.
doesn't still make him superhuman. He's still human. At the end of the day, we have to
Then
be
about a
realistic.
couple of minutes ago, you were
We
trying to
can't.
hypothetically say, oh, if Floyd Mayweather went to 160 and Floyd fought Triple G.
Because Ash, because this is not his weight class. That's the reason why.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, you can't say that because he didn't go there, innit? He didn't go into that weight division. You can't say, oh, if everyone says Floyd Mayweather did so many cherry
It
picks.
was trying to make a point to the cherry that I think that we get the definition of cherry confused. A cherry, there is no cherry. Anybody that's ranked
Okay,
5 up in any
let's just
division.
get the cherry out of the equation. We're calling weaker fighters in the division. Let's just put it that way. He's
Okay,
fighting the
let's just
weaker
say
fighters in the division.
let's just say that it's not the number 1 ranked guy in the
Right.
division. That's it.
Right.
You know, so that's it. But it's still a difficult challenge as it is.
But then the fans are saying, if you're gonna go up and say, okay, that's a difficult challenge, why don't you just have a difficult challenge at 168 then going up there and get
Because that's
criticized?
what fans are you talking about? Because I can pretty much believe that this is a 50-50 argument. There's as much fans maybe not approving it as there is approving it. So at the end of the day, one has
Yeah,
Everyone knows.
why don't we just
Everyone
leave it as
knows
that now? Talk about something else. We can talk about this for 2 hours.
I was just gonna say, Imran and Makai know that I'm a big Canelo fan, but you know when he does these maneuvers, you have to call it out.
Yeah,
Like, when he
yeah,
wants to-
absolutely.
yeah,
This
you
is
need
exactly
to.
what I've been doing as well. Just calling it out. It's my opinion.
Yeah, these are little differences, man. Nobody's here is a
Yeah,
hater. I mean,
calling
the
out
hater,
some kind of thing
the
about
We're
it.
getting called
Canelo
haters in
hater,
the comments, mate.
the Canelo hater's not here. We already know who the Canelo hater is. He's not here. You guys aren't Canelo haters, but we just have small differences in the way we see boxing and the way we rate fighters and the way we criticize the structure of boxing, kind of like what Steven was saying too. You know, it's hard to throw out these terms. Everyone has different definitions for these terms. You know, I don't throw out these terms often unless it's something blatant, like when people use duck, robberies, cherry picking. People love to throw out these terms all the fucking time. You know, to me, it has to be something obvious.
I only
So-
use that term because it was getting used about in the chat in the conversation. Because I'm just giving my opinion, and I'm not calling anyone out. I'm just giving my opinion. My opinion is that if he's the best fighter, he should go up and fight the best guys if he can, and if he can't, then he should be fighting lesser guys.
And that's understandable. But after having the long session that he just had right now, it's a respectable challenge. That's all he needs to take, a respectable challenge. He doesn't need to take a crazy challenge. You know, the challenge that the fans want to see or everybody wants to see. Is it a respectable challenge? Yes, it is. Okay, that's fine. Pass it through. Let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, look at the resume of a lot of the greatest fighters of all time. They always had in between fights these fucking bums in between all the time. Like, so if you're telling me that he's not gonna fight Benavidez, but instead he's gonna fight a guy for the 5th division, that's a great
I
fight
was,
for me.
I didn't, I
If
wasn't
that's
saying
what you're
that. What I was
taking,
saying, he was saying, let's not use the word cherry pick. He was saying that guy's a tough opposition, and I was saying he's not the best. Like he's the weaker side of that division. That's what I was saying, and that's in a way he's not. He should be fighting someone better in a way if he wants to,
I'm looking at it like this. For example, Gervonta Davis, he's fighting Isaac Cruz. That's a dangerous fight. Yeah, it's a dangerous fight, but it's not the fight all the others. It's a bit like that. That's how I'm thinking of it with Canelo, with Makabu. If you understand, it's still a dangerous fight, man.
right?
Guys,
I get you.
Guys, we've got some fights this week. Let's get some predictions. Let's get your thoughts on the fights before we wrap it up. Guys, we've got Porter Crawford this weekend. We've got Andre Quigley this weekend. Tell me, Nelson, how do you see those fights?
I see Porter making Crawford look human. Not the pound for pound guy everybody's trying to make him out to be. And I see Andre underperforming with the pressure of knowing that he's already a horrible fighter. That's what I see. So I see two underperformance from the two guys that we are expecting to overperform. Because I've explained it before. Not too many fighters can perform. They can fight, but it doesn't they can perform. And we're not looking for them to either win this week. Can they perform to the level what everybody's been expecting from them? So I see two be performing.
Who are you predicting then? So out of Crawford and Porter,
I got Crawford, but in a tough fight, and I got Andre in a horrible looking fight.
Yeah. What about you? Is it Ash? What have you got?
For me, I think Porter Crawford. I think Crawford's going to win in style. He's going to show why he is the top fighter. I've thought about this quite a bit. I know, and I think I'm going to sway with Crawford, but in a good style as well.
What about Andrade and Quigley?
Andrade, I think he will win, but it'll be a points decision. Not a really exciting fight, maybe. Maybe he tries to be more exciting after Canelo kind of said you're boring and whatever. Maybe there's something different, but I think he'll win. So yeah, I think the Crawford, I think he's gonna put some what do you call it? Put some gap between him and the rest of the guys in the welterweight.
Fair enough. Mike, how are you seeing it?
I see it in a similar way. I see a competitive fight. I'm talking about Crawford and Porter, a competitive fight where I see Crawford winning the decision, and if he does stop Porter, I see him catching him with like a big shot and then kind of finishing him off. That's the only way I see it, like a situation like that. If that doesn't happen, it's gonna be a competitive decision win for Crawford, I think. And as far as Andrade, I don't know, man. That's gonna be a snooze fest. I might watch the highlights. I'm not sure. I don't know about that. I don't really care about that fight.
What next? Andrade, Mike. Andrade, Eddie Earn said that Andrade is probably one of the most avoided fighters. He said, I like to think I'm a great promoter. I can't get this guy a fight. People don't want to fight. He goes, Andrade is up for the Munguia fight. Andrade wants to fight Munguia. But it seems like, nobody wants to go anywhere near Andrade. What's the problem, Mike?
I think he needs a better promoter, man. Maybe Christian could promote Andrade. I think he's a better promoter than Eddie Hearn.
Man. Christian's the perfect guy for him.
I mean, Christian's been promoting him for free, man. You might as well get a paycheck. Shit. But but honestly, like seriously, I mean, it's true to a certain extent. I mean, I don't think Eddie Hearn is lying. I mean, I think it's obvious that Andre, you know, a lot of people avoid Andre for obvious reasons because I don't think it's so much the actual risk factor because it's not like he's a boogeyman like let's say Triple G who would knock people out. I just think that people know that because of his style, it's gonna make an ugly fight that nobody's gonna like, and on top of that, he doesn't bring any fucking money. Matter of fact, Andre did the same thing with Erislandy Lara. He said it himself. Those were his quotes. You guys could look them up on Google. He literally said, I don't want to fight Lara because of his style.
But people don't want to talk about that. People never want to mention that.
Right. He have to promote a fight between Andre and a lion or some sort of animal or something.
You're echoing again, Nelson. You're echoing. You're echoing. Your voice is echoing.
I'm sorry about that.
No and worries. Also, Andre, you know, he's pulled out of 2 of his biggest fights. He pulled out the Jamel fight and the Derevchenko fight.
Yeah, so, and for the same reasons, Makai. For the same reasons. The same reasons that other people avoid Andre, it's the same reasons that Andre avoided these guys. He avoided Erislandy Lara because he brought nothing to the table money-wise and because he felt that the fight was going to be ugly. Right? Meaning that nobody was going to be impressed. Everybody was going to be booing the fight. They were going to stink up the joint. And it wasn't going to do anything necessarily for his legacy. Plus, it was a super risky fight because I think the majority of people would probably have Erislandy Lara beating Andre. And then the Charlo fight was because of money. They felt that they weren't getting enough money. So they're like, we're going to pass on this dude. And now Charlo's basically doing the same to Andre. Right, like you could say to a certain extent. Now Charlo's now that Charlo's bigger and he's making more money, he's got a bigger name. Now he's telling Andre, you know what, you could go fuck yourself. Yeah. Unless I get what I want, I'm not gonna give you the fight.
And Hearn, he's not doing anything for Andre. He's not. Hearn, I don't think Hearn really cares about Andre, to be honest. That's just my opinion. I don't think he really cares about Andre.
He cares about him. It's a tough situation for Eddie. I mean, I'm sure this is Eddie's biggest fight in his whole career. This is his Triple G.
I mean, I didn't know Andre was fighting this week. It's that bad.
Yeah, at least he get him a fight. At least he's getting him in there. I mean, you got to give Eddie some credit because, you know, Andre's a tough guy to promote. I think burned a lot of bridges behind the scenes and with PBC. Because, I mean, the guy's a middleweight. That's where Charles is at. That's where these guys are at. But I think he went chasing Canelo. And got stuck down. So always looking to be in an advantageous position has put him in a disadvantageous situation. You know, sometimes you got to be fair with everything around you. So being too slick, you all slick yourself. And also, who knows? I mean, I'm sure if he goes in there and tells Eddie, hey, I want to move up to Cruiserweight and fight the next guy that Canelo's not fighting, Eddie wouldn't have a problem making that fight.
Yeah, we also have to be able to tell the difference, man, between, like, let's say an Andrade and a Rigondeaux. You know, like, because Rigondeaux was avoided, but he was avoided mostly because of his skills. Like, let's be real about it.
Yeah.
Andrade is nowhere near Rigondeaux's skill set. Now, obviously, Rigondeaux also has another problem, the fact that he doesn't like to engage and he doesn't bring much to the table, right? But he like Rigondeaux, we've seen he fought Canelo, he fought Lomachenko, he fought Nonito Donaire. Even he got fights.
And Lara was also stopped as well, and he had guys nosing.
Right, so it's you know, there's this whole idea that he's like this kind of boogeyman is come on, dude, like nobody, you know, when you fight the way he fights and rarely knock anybody out, that's not a boogeyman, bro. That's more like a cockroach. You know what I mean? You're just kind of like avoiding a cockroach. It's not like a boogeyman or anything like that.
He is a tough fight for anybody. It's just, you know, you got to also, the negotiations can get a little tough with guys like that, you know, and why even bother? So the fight's going to be awkward. It's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. And also negotiations, that's too much. You know, you got to make negotiations easy if the fight's going to be also a headache. too many negatives, man. Compounding with a guy like that. You know?
Right.
I think he messed up. You know, I'm gonna be honest. I think I know something about Andre. At one point, Andre was signed to
Rock Nation.
Rock Nation, and that's where I think he burnt himself at. I think he double crossed those people. Take care, buddy. See you later. I think he crossed those people, and behind the scenes, he's been red flagged. He cost those people money. You know, that's